In this video, we will show you an example of the practical application of knowledge given by cultural models. Firstly, we will show the comparison of cultural differences of three countries according to Hofstede's cultural model and to Dewey's model. We spoke about these models in our previous videos, check the links. And then you will see the comparison of countries' cultural profiles based on the results of a questionnaire about clients' behavior during online purchase. The link to the video about the structure and content of this questionnaire you can find in the description. This video is based on the paper named Cultural Aspects of Decision-Making on Online Purchase published in journal Market. Let's see an example of three neighboring countries' markets: Latvian, Lithuanian and Russian. Why is the choice of countries to analyze? In fact, Lithuania and Latvia are the only countries belonging to the Baltic languages group and quite often are considered stereotypically as very similar by their culture, way of thinking and perception of information. Like so, there is a question: do the companies need to adapt their marketing proposals to Latvian and Lithuanian markets separately, or maybe the same marketing strategy can be used? Of course, the markets of Baltic countries are quite small, and the creation of different marketing strategies can be not cost-effective. Like so, the alternative possibility could be considered to use the strategy oriented to big neighboring market, for example, Russian market. Let's start from a quick look on how these countries are treated by existing cultural models. Firstly, we will see the comparison of cultural indices proposed by Hofstede for these countries. If we look on the indices of Baltic countries, we can see that three from the 6 dimensions – power distance, uncertainty avoidance, intelligence versus restraint – have quite similar values of index. Both countries are mild power distance, tending to avoid the uncertainty and are quite restricted in gratification. However, there are considerable differences in the indices of the rest cultural dimensions: masculinity, long-term orientation, and individualism. Considering the difference between index values, Latvians seems to be more tolerant to the gender differences than Lithuanians. Both countries are long-term oriented, but still Lithuanians are more minded for long-term relations in business and can be ready to dedicate more time for reaching the goal than Latvians. Both countries are highly individualistic, but the feature is a bit more typical to Latvians than to Lithuanians. The indices for Russia differ significantly from Baltic countries on 4 dimensions: power distance, individualism, masculinity, and uncertainty avoidance. Like so, Russia is considered to be extremely uncertainty avoiding, power-oriented, and tolerant to the status differences. Moreover, Russia is more oriented to collectivism than Baltic countries do and tended to separate gender roles in social life, which is not the case in Latvia, neither in Lithuania. According to analyzed Hofstede's indices for these 3 countries, at first glance we can notice that the most strict, structured and hard in changes seems to be Russian culture, and the most relaxed, individualistic, dynamic and open to changes Latvian, when Lithuanian culture would be in between the two. However, the Hofstede cultural dimensions are not the only way to analyze the culture. According to the Lewis model, the 2 Baltic countries, Latvia and Lithuania, are considered as quite different in the cultural context. Like so, Latvia is assigned to the countries approximate to the linear action orientation, tended to be silent and calm, and relied on facts, a bit on the intuition, but not on the emotions. Lithuania, by contrary, is considered as representative of mixed multi-active and linear active countries, tended to be broad-minded and quite active in communication, relied on the feelings and on the facts, but not on the intuition. On the same axis, Russia is placed, but more close to emotional multi-active countries than Lithuania. So, by Lewis, Russia and Lithuania are considered as having more similarities in terms of communication activity and are different from Latvia. So, from common theory, we have an idea about cultural similarities and differences between countries, but are they the same in online area? Now let's have a look on the result of the pilot survey based on the specific questionnaire with 7 points evaluation scale. The statements used in the questionnaire were discussed earlier in our previous video, check the link, and as the center value of the 7-point scale is 4, the agreement was expressed when mean values exceeded 4 points, and disagreement with statements when mean values were below 4. When the mean values of dimension varied around the center value, about 4, and the difference from it was not statistically significant, respondents were considered to be quite indifferent to the proposed statements of such dimension. Let's see the results. Latvian respondents could be characterized as low power distance minded in online purchase. E-offers can be successfully presented by small or medium business in the near to people manner. The attitude to collective values in online purchase is quite indifferent. The tendency to individualistic values can be observed. Like so, Latvians do not keep in mind the possibility to be involved in charity during e-purchase, and when making e-shopping decisions they are indifferent to collective culture or common society goals such as environment protection. It shows that e-offer oriented to the Latvian market should highlight the importance of each customer and the value of offer for him or her personally. The information provided to a customer should be clear, exhaustive, and procedure of purchase intuitive, as Latvian respondents showed high uncertainty avoidance and tendency to base decisions on their knowledge. However, the content of e-offer should be emotionally close to potential e-customer, because Latvian respondents indicated feelings and intuition being important for them in decision on e-purchase. As well as the long-term partnership can be more attractive than short business relations for Latvian customers. Lithuanian respondents are indifferent to power distance in online purchase, but trust more the big companies. They are keeping in mind environment protection while choosing products and trust more companies with expressed collective values. Lithuanians accept traditional gender roles. In online purchase, they are pragmatic and oriented more to the facts and knowledge than to the emotions. Like so, e-offers should indicate detailed factual information and show an estimated e-offers value not only for individual but for society as a whole. Lithuanian respondents demonstrated high uncertainty avoidance and long-term orientation in online purchase. They can dedicate additional time for research for relevant information, allowing better decision-making. The majority of Russian respondents are guided by facts and knowledge, not feelings and intuition on e-purchase. Choose poor context e-offers should be more prominent on Russian market. Russian respondents are inclined to traditional roles in the society. They are highly uncertainty avoiding and long-term oriented. Like so, e-offers intended for Russian market should be very precise and detailed, providing more factual and trustworthy, possible to check information about offered product or service and e-retailer itself. So, Russian customer can spend a long time looking for the best offer and business partner, but once he finds him, he is ready to buy again and to be a loyal customer. So the conducted analysis discovered an interesting situation. According to the number of dimensions where statistically significant differences were found, two Baltic countries' online markets are less similar between them than each of them are similar to Russian market. However, the values of means differences between Latvian and Lithuanian e-markets are smaller than between Latvian and Russian e-markets. Latvian online market has the largest amount of deviation with respect to the considered countries' markets, while Russian online market has the majority of similarities. Like so, it can be expected that the e-offer adapted to Russian e-purchasers will be successfully accepted by e-purchasers from Lithuania and at some extent by buyers from Latvia. However, to be fully successful, it should be adapted by adding the appeal to the personality and emotions of customers. It would allow to keep expenses for localization on effective level. Russia's market is big and promising, so the investments in the adaptation to Russia's online market should be the most rewarding. It should be noted that the results of survey should be checked with bigger audiences and can deviate dependently on e-commerce sector, different age and incomes of target groups. Such kind of survey can be useful on the start stage of e-offer adaptation to the target market.